Bishop Nhiwatiwa, what is the cabinet within the UMC polity?
The cabinet is an administrative instrument in the United Methodist Church. This is where the bishop meets with the district superintendents. Sometimes we have an extended cabinet where we bring people beyond those who are district superintendents to give what we call input, so that we understand what is happening in committees and councils and boards. So the cabinet is really a grouping of leaders who work with the bishop on an advisory basis to see how we can run the church.
Okay. And are there any limitations as to the meetings of the cabinet?
No, there are not. There are no limitations. You can meet every month if you can. You can meet after every 2 months, or you can even call a cabinet meeting if there is an immediate need. So they don't limit. They don't limit them.
Okay. And between the annual conference sessions, what role does the cabinet play?
First and foremost, we look at what the conference passed. What would the conference like us to do? It is the cabinet working with our laity, working with the different agencies in the church to see now how we can implement some of those things which the conference has envisioned. The cabinet also sees ahead. Where are we going on this? Where are the challenges coming from? How can we advise the church? How can we link up with the boards to try to see how we can negotiate some of those challenges and how we can implement those visions? For instance, it is a monitoring agency. We are building, but you don't just say we are building. How are we raising funds? Where do we need to come in as district superintendents to encourage so that people remain hopeful?
Okay, and this particular meeting is an area cabinet meeting. But maybe we may need to look at, do you also hold separate meetings for annual conferences, since Zimbabwe Episcopal Area consists of Zimbabwe East and Zimbabwe West?
When it comes to area cabinet, the church leaves it to each bishop to see with your ingenuity how you want to organize. I figured out one of the things really, Reverend Maforo, which I envisioned, is to keep the two conferences together. And I said, if the leaders can occasionally meet together, not only the cabinet, but even our lay people. Sometimes people may say, oh, why are we meeting together? This means this will narrow the gap of strangeness to say the church here in Zimbabwe United Methodist is one. So the area cabinet brings up the two components of district superintendents together. So we discuss our things. It's like two cabinets. Then we discuss things in the West. Those in the East will also contribute to help. Those in the West will also contribute to say, East, why don't you do this there in the East? So it's a joy, to work together, to see leaders encouraging each other under area cabinet.
So you suppose it has been very positive engagement?
Or in my own assessment and the assessment of the leaders, it is very positive. It has served us so well. I can't speak of imagining that we have two bishops. I would say, I'm not trying to say this is what they should do whoever come in office. I would say it will not be bad. They may not do it annually, but maybe biannually, the two bishops bring their cabinet together. Just to a place like this or somewhere to deliberate their issues. That would be beautiful for the church. That would be beautiful for the church, yes.
All right. And I also observe at the sitting of the area cabinets, I also realized the chairperson of the Ruadzana, Mrs. Greta Nhiwatiwa, together with her team of women workers, also hold their meetings alongside the cabinet. Is this a unique phenomenon to Zimbabwe, or it happens everywhere?
Very unique, because Rukwadzana, as we know it, is unique to Zimbabwe. Other churches just have what they call women ministry. But here it's more than women's ministry. This is an agency for spiritual formation. Rukwadzana is focused on spiritual formation. We are not only dealing with projects, or Miss Grupira deals with projects, but when you talk of Rukwadzana, yes, they have their own projects also, but their main focus is worship. So what they do when we meet as area cabinet is also to pull their leaders from the two conferences, and particularly in January and in October, they also deliberate side by side with us overall. and they come, we sit together to check what if they need any input from cabinet or we need input from them. So the whole thing is unique to Zimbabwe. I haven't heard of any other bishop who meets side by side with the women's workers like this. It's really unique to Zimbabwe.
Okay, so what story does that tell for us?
It tells a story of people working together, people united in mission, people who focus on their goals together, working knowing that we are co-partners in ministry. This is the message. We are co-partners and we do our things together that way.
Okay, and in terms of women emancipation, does that tell us any different story?
It tells, do you know what the women are saying? They call theirs a cabinet also. We thought it was a joke, but that's what they say. They when they are going to their room, they say, our cabinet, may we go? We said, oh my goodness. But it's a good joke. It makes us very joyful. So they are consolidated in leadership. They do their own things. We don't interfere. We don't send a DS there to say, go and sit there to hear whether they are doing things well. We know they are doing things very well. So our women folk, our district workers, the spouses there, they are good leaders. They are really mature, good leaders, and we are very thankful for that. Yes.
Okay. Bishop, in your closing statements, would you have any other information regarding to the role and focus or functions of the cabinet that you think the church may need to know?
The church needs to know that the cabinet is not something which exists outside the conference. It's mandated within the system of the church. They are there to work with the bishop so that the bishop is not working like a loner. The bishop has advisors. And then we look together at the good things which are happening in the church. We say, how can we keep these things to go on together? We see the challenges. We say, how can we help this? We consult with the lay leader. Today, I think you saw Mr. Mataruka and Mr. Mafunda coming in as our lay leaders. Devices are coming in later on because we consult with them. Confed already came, BOT already came, so this is how we are moving together.
Thank you, Bishop.
Yes.